Tim, who's the most cursed player at the Masters?
Bryson. I expect him to win.
The Pat Mayo Experience.
Pat Mayo Experience. Pat Mayo Experience. Pat Mayo Experience. Experience.
Welcome to the Pat Mayo Experience, presented by Underdog. Code Mayo at Underdog. Right now, get yourself a deposit bonus of up to $1,000 and a free pick for Bryson DeChambeau, higher than 0.5 strokes Thursday at the Masters. That's a guaranteed winner. Additionally, Underdog has introduced a to make the cut or to miss the cut play in the pick'em game as well. So if you ever wanted to get in, I'm putting all those together. Now is the time to get in on Underdog using code Mayo. All right, the Masters 2025 picks, bets, preview, one and done. Cust coming up a little bit later on, but Geoff, we finally made it here. I always forget every single year that I'm getting older and less fit, and this jacket gets harder to change into.
You know what, though, Pat? For me, the advantage of, being fat a really long time is I think when you first got this jacket for me, it was like a lot tighter. And I'm not saying I'm in any shape, and I think I've actually put on some recent pounds, but I still have I remember when I got it, it was uncomfortable. It was almost too tight. So now it fits great. So I feel like smaller sample size, I'm making a bit of progress.
I will have my full to make and to miss the cut parlay in the Wednesday Mayo Media newsletter, completely free to sub to. It's down in the description right now, as are the $6,000 worth of giveaways. Our friends at CoolBet are putting on a Pat Mayo Experience Canadian Open giveaway. If you're in Canada, outside of Ontario, because, that's just how it goes, and you go to CoolBet right now, it's in the description. You go opt in to that contest for every $10. You bet on the Masters or Heritage, which is next week. You get a ballot into the draw to win airfare, hotel, and tickets to the Canadian Open for 2 days, sweet tickets to the Blue Jays, and the Pat Mayo Experience live show featuring me and you, Cust, who's coming up later on, Cam and Rob. Everyone is going to be there. You should be there too, and you can help us out by opting in to that contest right now. First thoughts about the Masters this week. What are you most pumped about, Geoff?
Just the Masters in general. There's not really a lot of betting stuff I'm excited about, Pat. That's just what
I might actually have more money into the make and miss the cut parlay market than I do on people to win.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to be me, I might say this a lot. Then by, Wednesday, I got this huge overexposed card. And you made a comment on one of your many, many great shows that kind of put me in a headspace where, okay, I'm going to bet the shit out of this sucker. But I go back and forth because you're here's the thing. I'm paraphrasing for you, but if it's not Scotty or Rory, this thing is wide goddamn open. Wide open. Not a lot of win equity in the next group of names. And this thing becomes wide open. So there's moments where I think it's wide open. And then there's moments where I think I don't really want to bet that much at all.
I have good positions on guys whose numbers are a lot worse today on a Monday than they have been through the past month. So if you've been watching, you probably have Sergio at 175 to 1. I don't know how big I am on Sergio at 60 to 1 at this point.
That's what it is, eh? I've seen a few guys catch some steam. Yeah, I'm out on Sergio. 60 to 1. I got my own guys who probably can't win, but holy shit, Sergio, I saw a few shots where it was vintage Sergio with those irons, and get excited to think about, him being back with the boys at Bethpage in the fall, but I'm not making a bet on him this week.
No, and listen, even if you don't want to miss out, this is what happened with Willett to a lot of people. We bet him at 150 to 1. By the week of, he was 50 to 1. People were like, everyone else got better numbers than me, and then he won anyway. So it's not inconceivable that this could happen. He has won a Masters in the past. Did you take anything away
Sign Sergio flag right there. 2017?
2017 Masters.
No. Yeah, 17.
There it is. He's only made one cut at the Masters since.
Listen, it was always a bit of a love-hate, but that one moment of love was so magical, and we don't get finals like that We don't get those finishes like we used to, Pat.
No,
anymore.
when we went over that in the best Masters drafts, none of the Masters from the past 5 years made our draft, which is insane to think about.
Like, what a enthralling finish that was. Like, the hair stood on the back of my neck. One of those tournaments. Like, obviously Tiger 19 is on its whole like own iconic level, and maybe even in like 40 years on our deathbeds might be like the best golf tournament win that we saw as like grown men. But that Sergio tournament, I swear it's got to be right up there. What a just like incredible Masters moments throughout that Sunday. God, if I'm gonna lose a bet, if I'm gonna get wiped out this week, like wipe me out and make Sunday magical. I'll kind of take that trade off.
There's one thing that I'm trying to wrap my mind around about what I want to do in terms of the betting board, because I don't have a ton invested as of yet. I have one guy who I think that everyone is going to like, so you probably should get in on the number right now. We'll get to that later on in the show, but I can't recall a Master. Last year was exactly the same way. And the year before, it was exactly the same way. And the year before. So with the past three, Hideki was an outlier. And then you go back to Dustin. Like, Dustin was obviously, in retrospect, going to win the Masters. That's how well he had been playing coming in. It was obvious 2 years ago, Scotty was going to win. He was playing the best of anyone. He was the best in the world. He won. Rahm, 2 years ago, exact same thing. Scotty, last year, exact same thing. Should we just bet Rory to win the Masters?
I bet him at US Open last year. I said after that, I'm not doing it again. I can cry for him when he wins anyway. If there wasn't the scar tissue of the last decade, I mean, it would maybe feel that's what's holding it up, I guess. But you make some good points. I don't want to fuck around with Rory this year. And if you made me bet between Rory and Scotty, like if I was forced to pick one as a bet, it's a good chance I probably would pick Rory. But when it comes to major championships, like, you guys think my biases run wild, like week to week? Oh my God. Oh my God. I have to like you to bet you. That doesn't mean that I don't like Scotty Scheffler, but like, I have to want you to see you as a major champion for me to bet you. It's like when we do a football show, Pat. Like, we'll do 15 or do the whole card, and for all the games, I'll say something really stupid. But for the Chargers games, I'll say a lot, but really nothing because I'm just picking the Chargers. I'm not betting Tommy Fleetwood this week, though.
What? He went OB 3 times on 17 at Valero yesterday.
Yeah, I saw that. I mean, I saw the tracker of that. No, I'm not betting Tommy Fleetwood. But yeah, bringing this full circle to Rory. I mean, if not now, like when? Like, he's come into the Masters in almost any form imaginable over these last, over his career. It seems like he's performed well under, like, coming in good, coming in bad. Like, we've got the whole gamut, but it's never been like this. And I really hope it's his time. I love golf a lot. It would be the best thing ever.
To crib from my article, which is released now, it's on my Substack. It's also under the articles tab on X at the PME. If you're looking for it, smash a like and sub to this channel, by the way. If you leave a comment of who you think is going to win the Masters, you get into one of the other draws, because I'm giving away $1,000 in cash. That's a way that you can get a ballot into that draw. Just leave a comment and sub to the channel, smash a like. Boom. Took you 4 seconds. You're in that draw. Maybe you'll be one of the 5 people who wins the $200 cash next Monday on the recap show. But good players win at the Masters. I know that's not like a hot take, but I always try to, and despite the fact that I'll bet guys that aren't quote-unquote good players, but even Byron put out from the Fantasy Golf Degenerates podcast, which is up on Mayo Media right now, that almost every single player who's won a major over the past 7 years has had at least a second place finish at a major coming in. Like, Wyndham Clark was an outlier in that regard, but if you've never performed well at a major before, it's very unlikely you're just going to win the Masters.
Yeah, you need some experience with smoke. You can do that at other majors, like an Open, but you need smoke.
Do you know
you
who
need to have tasted it?
Do you know who the lowest ranked player in the world rankings to win the Masters has been since 2012?
Sergio or Willett?
No, Willett was number 11 when he won. People
I
forget
guess
that.
those DP World points, yeah, they crushed. Then Hideki was out of form for a bit. He was in a bit of a slumpy.
He was inside the
But
top
I
20.
don't-
The answer is Bubba Watson. In 2012, he was number 18 in the world rankings.
Yeah. Again, it's not really a methodical profile. Like, yes, there's all those trends that lead you to the winner. Like there's some strong statistical data points that say you have to do, that whole list of things. But fact of the matter is, Pat, at this point in the game, if you're already not like betting into a field that's like 15 guys, like you're probably doing it wrong to begin with. Like oh no, this is gonna be really embarrassing because I'll probably end up betting some losers this week.
I've already bet some losers, so don't worry
But in
about
my
that.
own way, like my criteria for who can win the Masters is more strict than like the data points. If that makes any sense.
So give me the Geoff Fienberg manifesto of who was going to
this
win the
is bad.
Masters.
Listen, I mean, it's truly like I just have to think you are the fucking greatest thing on earth, that you can walk on water. Like I say this because I like a lot of losers. Like I'm a Tommy Fleetwood, Justin Herbert fan. Like guys, come up short. Last year, Pat. Last year I was the Louis. Second place with Ludwig at the Masters. Second place with Bryson at the PGA. Second place with Rory at the U.S. Open. Like I did the Louis last year.
You didn't have thirsty.
My criteria is I just have to think you're a true super elite, or I think you are going to be a super elite. Like that's it. That's it. That's it. There's nothing else in there. And sure, there's a couple guys who I think like maybe could do it. Like I know a lot of people, I don't disagree with it, like the Sepp Straka, like the Bobby Mack. We'll get into it on the board. I could see how those guys can win. And I'm sure I'll get drawn into some name or two in there in the middle. But no, it's either like it's super elite, or I think your ceiling is one day you play golf tournaments at like 14-1 in full fields. Like that's how you win. If I don't see that in your future, then I don't know if I think you can win the Masters.
So it's more difficult to parse this out. If Bubba was the lowest ranked in the official world golf rankings, we don't really have real official world golf rankings anymore. The closest that we have to it are the data golf rankings to do it. So the world golf rankings don't really include, they don't give any points for live. So how do live guys factor into this? Inside the top 20 on live right now of the data golf overall rankings, Rahm is number 4. Bryson is number 10, Neiman is number 11, Hatton is number 15, and Sergio is number 19. Those are the live guys inside the top 20 in the data golf rankings right now.
I say that for a while there, I was seeing exactly what I thought I wanted to see from Jon Rahm, and he's still very much alive for me to make a bet on him this week. But yeah, I think the troop of them are going to play great. I think the troop of live, like overall, I think they're going, in the team golf world, I think Team Live is going to play quite strong this week. I think they're going to represent themselves well. It'd be embarrassed to rank, though, where I'd probably rank Brooks on my Masters Week Live Power Ranks.
Well, there's only 12 of them in the field, so I'm guessing he would probably rank 7th or 8th for you.
Maybe lower. Like, he's probably got to be higher than...
Charles?
Obviously higher than Charles, even higher than like Neiman and probably Hatton for this specific tournament. But I don't know. The guy just seems thick. Hey, you see, he's coming out of those shirts. Either he's wearing a smaller shirt, or he's just hitting it harder. I know you're thick too, but Brooks is coming out of those shirts.
Listen, Brooks is just being me right now. Just too jammed into these shirts. It's tough. When you have a standard uniform that you wear every year for this one particular Masters show, as the years go on, you start getting into more heavier lifting. You feel like Arnold in here trying to go like this.
Yeah, you might have to move the tailor, remove some buttons next year.
I mean, I could probably just go on Amazon and buy another $25 jacket, but I'm pretty cheap when it comes to that. Paul, yes, you would like to chime in.
Is it cold in here? Or are you just a little excited there, Pat?
It's this shirt, man. You can see right through. It's a nice shirt, but it's not one that I wear at any other point except for on this one day every single year for the Masters to go with the color combo. We even have the red in the studio. But enough of us talking about who we're not going to pick, who we're maybe picking. We have a guy coming on to give you who he is picking to win and who he says has no chance to win. His name, Tim Andercursed.
Tim Andercursed.
That is not my name.
Heard it was your name, pal. You are here to give your insight to the Masters. Once dubbed the big game hunter by yourself, you did hit a Wyndham Clark winner. And I know there's a Wyndham Clark winner drinking game, so it's early in the morning for a lot of people. So start drinking. Tim, who do you got for the Masters?
Okay, well, I'll give you my three. Number 3, the bronze pick is Russell Henley. I picked him on our Masters, major pick show. He's one of the best players in the world, and I think not a lot of people are going to have him, but I think you should.
Not laughing.
Would I tell you that he is probably outside of like the Rory Scheffler brigade and Bryson of the very, very top end names? Henley is the name that everyone is going to, it seems.
Weird, because I saw somebody laugh hysterically at me for choosing him, so I'm surprised that other people like him too.
I'm not laughing at it being your bronze pick.
Okay, well, good, because it is my bronze pick. Second, I'm going to pick Cameron Smith, and I'm picking him to be my first round leader as well, because I think he can putt well enough at Augusta to thrive here. He has in the past. He's played well here. I think he's going to play well here again.
He played well at Doral as well.
Yeah, well, a lot of the guys who were in the draw for the Masters played well at Doral.
There's two in particular who did not play well. That would be Neiman and Hatton.
They struggled. But those were, I watched pretty much tip to buzzer yesterday, the live broadcast, and the conditions there were just vicious at Doral. Just like that. That was a U.S. Open style round.
I mean, in fairness, I was watching them both at the same time. The conditions in San Antonio were way worse than they were in Doral.
Yeah, you couldn't pay me to watch Brian Harmon waggle 35 times before hitting a shot while he had a 5-stroke lead. I couldn't care less.
It's hard to argue that.
No, and I actually thought the live broadcast was pretty good until it was weird. The moment that Valero came on TV on NBC and made the switch over from Golf Channel to NBC, Live, for whatever reason, stopped showing golf and did like 10 minutes of like, hey, here's Pat Perez on the course who kept getting rattled by people walking by.
Pat Perez is better than Smiley Kaufman at their jobs right now.
I mean, I don't know about that because Pat Perez was doing a live hit and then he had to stop and turn around. He's like, there's people making noise over there on live TV.
Sergio did that too when he, on the last hole where it was just such classic Sergio. Like, you haven't seen him for a while, so you forget. He starts blaming the crowd for his errant tee shot on the last hole. Like, no, Sergio, you missed the shot. That's okay. It's a hard day. Everybody was missing that tee shot to the right. He wasn't the only one who was wayward there. Everyone was.
It's also like objectively hilarious when guys get like mad at noise at the live events.
Yeah, they play music and like it's an event.
Bring your baby.
I did agree with Pat that I don't understand why they have that strip of screen between the pylon and the end of the screen. It should be flush to the margin.
I
What are we
think
talking about?
I think I know why. So when you look at the live leaderboard, it's on the left-hand side and it's vertical, but it doesn't go all the way over to the left. There's a space in between. And I know from just doing this show the entire time, having worked in TV, there's a safe mode on each of the cameras that you want to be in for broadcast television. And I'm pretty sure that they have the leaderboard there because they also stream to so many different platforms, so many different networks in different countries that all have different standards in terms of aspect ratio. But to me, I think if they're already spending billions of dollars as it is, spend the extra $5,000 and just run a separate feed for Fox Sports so it doesn't look really stupid.
I tend to agree with you. I thought by and large the broadcast was good yesterday, though.
I've always
was sharp. I thought that it was good golf to watch.
It was, and it was helpful that it had all of the Masters guys in it, and they didn't lean away from talking about the Masters or hell, even PGA Tour players. They were talking about in terms of like, here's what Jack did, here's what Tiger does, and here's how these guys fit in. I thought they did a good job of not making themselves seemed othered in a really weird way that made themselves seem somewhat legitimate. And I think it worked as it came across in the broadcast. And it was too bad that Leishman, it was good that Leishman ended up winning, but it would have been fun if he had like collapsed on 17 and there was like 6 guys in it towards the end.
Well, he tried to collapse on the last hole. He hit that terrible drive. But what a fantastic putt to win. Like, that's a championship putt.
Yeah,
we've seen him do that before.
He had 2
credit to Liv. I'll give that to you, Tim. And listen, their secret sauce, and the only sauce they have, is when they want to play against the lesser tier PGA events. So they got to stop playing against Bay Hill and the Genesis, and they got to have a schedule that's against like the jabroni tier.
Curious what the ratings will have been.
Me too, because it really worked out to be a perfect storm for them, because all of the best players in Valero were either wildly out of contention or they had just simply missed the cut because the weather got so bad on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And you had the ultimate X factor that Tim just mentioned of Brian Harman being in the lead. There was one hole, I believe it was the 11th hole with Harman. He missed the green, and he lined up his chip for, 6 minutes or so. And then he stood over the ball for another minute. He chipped it over the green. They let Novak come onto the green. Then they cut back to Brian Harman, and he did the exact same thing again. So in the span, because I had them on both TVs at the same time, when they first cut to Brian Harman lining up his chip, we got 6 shots on Liv, and then Novak chipped like pretty quickly. Then it goes back to Harman, and then we got another 5 shots on Liv before he hit the ball. It was incredible. If there's any counter programming you ever need to go up against, it's Brian Harman just being a focal point of any broadcast. The Masters should pay him off to miss the cut.
Rahm had time to chip 4 balls in a row into the water rather than 2 in the span of 1 Harman shot.
Listen, there's a PGA championship or something. They put a turtle on the screen when he was putting. So there's some directors that'll fuck with him.
Well, hopefully the Masters will penalize him for terrible slow play if that is what comes to pass.
He
looks like he's as tall as a 14-year-old boy, so maybe.
You certainly wouldn't know him if he was walking next to other Team USA golfers, would you, Geoff?
I got a pretty good Hawkeye. He's a little guy though. He would hide behind like someone's wife. That's how small he is. You could hide him. He hides in a crowd.
How tall is Brian Harman? He's probably like 5'8", isn't he?
I'd say that's about right. I'm certainly cheering against him this week because I can't stand that style of play.
You mean slow play?
That terrible slow play. Like, get off the screen.
Does anyone like slow play?
I mean, some people are more tolerant of it than others, but I just can't stand it.
The PGA Tour certainly accepts it as part of their product.
They do. I don't understand why they do, but they choose to condone it.
Like if Major League Baseball can make like crazy rules that like are great, like certainly golf can.
Put them on a shot clock. I've been saying it forever. Put them on a shot clock.
I don't even know about that, but something's got to be timed, and at the end there can be penalties.
Yeah, there are exigent circumstances where you need a rulings official and it will take a little longer, but that won't happen more than like once a round per player. Like, let's figure this out.
Okay. So, the LIV leaderboard, the last thing before we get to your most confident gold pick for the Masters, is I like the leaderboard. It's trying to do a bit too much. Like they need
it really is trying to emulate an F1 leaderboard, right? That is what it's trying to be.
But it's
it's got way more going on. And like I've watched enough LIV tournaments to kind of get it, even that the score is already there when it says earlier beside something that they've already given the score for. There's so much going on. It could give a seizure, and there's no way like 74-year-old guys keeping up with that.
I don't know if that's necessarily their demo. I know that that's a golf demo, but I don't know if that's the demo that they're going. I mean, their demo is anyone who will watch LIV at this point. They need to get people into it. But I think it was the most successful American week they've ever had, Tim.
I would think so. I would hope so.
I hope so. Yeah, should be.
All right, before we get to the most Andercursed pick of the 2025 Masters, I want to remind everyone, if you live in Canada but not in Ontario, I got to give away for you. It is a free trip to the Canadian Open, airfare, hotels, 2 days of the Canadian Open, suite to Blue Jays tickets. You go tell all your friends. You hit the description right now. It's from our friends at coolbet.com. You opt into the Mayo Masters giveaway, and boom, you get into that draw every $10 that you bet on the Masters or Heritage next week. and you'll get yourself one ballot into that draw. So please go do that right now. Full details down in the description. Tim, who's the most cursed player at the Masters?
Bryson. I expect him to win.
Really? Even after yesterday's performance?
Yeah, yesterday. Well, but he didn't play great, and he was still like, a top 10 contender.
Well, he came into the day with the lead by 2 shots. It's him falling out of the top 10 of a 54-man field would be tough. I thought that I've been making the case against Bryson, and you nailed him first round leader last year. Congratulations to you. But
Thank you.
And once again, I just think that if it's not wet and it plays super fast and firm, like the Masters usually does and is projected to this year, we saw his struggles around the green, trying to get the ball up. He can't get the ball up. He just refuses. And they even talked about it on the broadcast. Like, we've been telling him, like, Bryson, at least just put a sand wedge, a regular size one, into your bag. You just can't get the depth on those same length clubs to get the ball up from these short side bunkers. His short game was atrocious at Doral, and it's only getting harder. And that's where his undoing was on Saturday when it stopped being so wet a year ago. He couldn't chip.
I would contend that his problem isn't this, it's decision making. That sometimes he makes unnecessarily risky decisions, which ends up costing him. And I actually think that's what unraveled him on the Saturday last year, when he tried to make that really aggressive chip from across the hole. We'll see. Bryson, of course, not only by far the best driver of the golf ball, he's one of the best putters of the golf ball. I don't think he gets nearly enough credit for what a good putter he is. Yeah. And if you can hit it longer than anybody, and you can putt it as good as anybody, this is the type of course you should be able to take advantage of. He will have short irons in his hand on every par 5, pretty much. He just has a built-in advantage no one else has. So I just think he's got to be the play, and that's where I'm going with this.
He does rate out number 1 in the statistical model that I made at fantasynational.com, so that's looking up.
I like the pick, Tim. I don't know if I'll be there, but listen, we're picking for winners. We're picking to be a big game hunter. And if he misses the cut, that means as much as third fucking place at a betting odd like that. Not that you're betting it, but you're playing to the ceiling, and it's the driver putter ceiling that wins fucking golf tournaments. And on the right conditions, maybe can just, I'm not saying shoot the score Bryson thinks he can shoot here, but maybe come close.
And if you go to Underdog right now and you're a new player, you use code Mayo at sign up. Not only do you get a deposit bonus of up to $1,000, you get a free pick for Bryson on Thursday. If he goes higher than 0.5 strokes in the first round, you're an automatic winner. And if you go look at Underdog right now, they have to make and to miss the cut fantasy props. If you're looking to go play those, not everywhere allows you to parlay together, make and miss the cut props. I'll have my big one coming out on Wednesday in the newsletter and on the show that I'll give away. I'm already tinkering around with it and doing some proto versions of it. But if you want to get in on that, Underdog has it right now. If anything else, just go use code Mayo, get the free pick, throw on the Bryson pick to the make and miss the cut, and put them all together. You can get a huge payout on that. Tim, we always have to ask you have your 3 picks to win. Who are the 3 guys who will not win the Masters?
Okay. Who will not win the Masters? Well, I think I mentioned on a show previously, Rory Cantor. So he's one of my people.
Okay.
All right, so that's one of them. I mean, I could be real lazy here and pick some guys that have no chance. But I'm going to give
you just picked Rory Cantor.
I'm going to give you Aubert. I don't think he played great last year. When are guys great back to back?
I saw a stat. Just DJ is the only player that's had T5s in back to back years in the last 5 years.
Very tough to do. So Aubert, I don't think he's going to win.
He did, and of note, he missed the cut at Valero, and no player has won while missing a cut in their previous event since Jail Swag Angel Cabrera in 2009. He's coming in off a win on the Champions Tour, by the way.
Love it.
And
this is like Phil when he won the senior before the Kiowa.
That's true. And Tim, last year, do you know how many strokes putting Ludwig gained?
I'm not sure, but I bet you 1 million.
8. He led the field by a substantial margin last year.
We were in Vegas. He was hitting bombs. He was hitting everything, saving pars. It was great. It was magical.
All right, Tim. Who is the one person the most not going to win the Masters this year?
It's Jordan Spieth. He's never going to win again. It's never going to happen. Never ever.
His odds are actually unfair this week. They have him at 33-1.
That's ridiculous.
I know.
That's ridiculous.
People will bet it though.
Yeah, sure. Why not? Absolutely. There's genuine, like, couple bucks on Spieth. They're going to bet 2 golf. Yeah, for sure.
A couple of the old guys I think will play well this week too.
Give me a list of them.
I think Phil is going to play really well this week. He's
Serge?
been playing well all year.
I agree.
Sergio, yeah, he's on there.
What counts as old guys?
Mike
though?
Weir
Like,
is going to make the cut.
Okay, can I bet you that Mike Weir doesn't make the cut?
Mike Weir will make the cut.
Come on.
He'll putt well enough to make the cut.
why are you saying this?
Because I think in fact, I think Phil and Weir are better bets probably for top left-hander than anybody else.
Oh my
I really
God.
believe that.
Get your
I really believe that. Oh,
What are you?
Is Highsmith going to do the best? I don't think so.
I would say Bobby Mack.
Bobby Mack.
Bobby Mack. It's the most lefties ever in a Masters field. There are 8 of them this year.
I would
That's
take
crazy.
Phil. I think I would probably take Phil.
I mean,
Bet it.
I don't think that
Bet-
I
bet it.
don't think that Phil is a bad bet in that market. I don't think that Weir is a good bet in that market.
I just think
Weir's got TV to do. He's not golfing this
And
weekend.
do you know the Uber surge pricing around Augusta for Mike Weir to really make them bucks? Mike Weir made the cut at the 2020 Masters, which was the November Masters. He has not made the cut previous to that since 2014.
Does Mike Weir even play well on Champions?
Don't know.
Yeah, I don't have a.
He didn't. You know what? He didn't do 2 years in the clink, come out and win. I'll tell you that much.
Well, I know he won his Masters on April 13th. The
get out of-
on April 13th. There's symmetry to it all.
Oh,
tarot carding?
No,
this?
you want to hear the ultimate symmetry to this? Not only did Mike Weir, a Canadian, win on April 13th, which is my birthday, by the way. In 2003, the year that Mike Weir won, UConn Women's won the national basketball title. Carmelo Anthony won the NCAA title. Carmelo Anthony, this year, was inducted to the Hall of Fame. The UConn women won. The NFC won a Super Bowl in a blowout, just like this year. A Los Angeles Lakers forward averaged over 40 PRA a game. That was Kobe. LeBron is doing the same this year. Canadian wins the Masters. I don't know if it's going to be Mike Weir on the same day, but Pendrith, Connors, Nick Taylor, they're live based on tarot cards.
I like it.
You were not expecting me to have those ready, were you?
No, I was not. I am very impressed, and I tip my cap to you.
Well,
that's very good research.
Thank you for coming on with us. If you want to check out our full Masters draft of the best Masters of the past 15 years and the players we all drafted for the majors, that show is up on the network right now with myself, Geoff, and Tim Andercursed.
Tim Andercursed.
If you've watched this show for at least 3 minutes over the past 3 weeks, that you know that I went to Pinehurst a few weeks ago. I'm the type of person that's never going to stop talking about that because I had the best time ever. And then one of the main reasons that I was able to have such a good time is that my clubs were waiting for me the moment that I got to the clubhouse, thanks to ShipSticks. I didn't have to wait at the baggage claim, put an air tag in it to make sure that my transfer of planes when I had to do my layover, that they actually made it onto the second plane. No. I didn't want to be stressed out going to have a golf mega vacation. And thanks to ShipSticks, I didn't have to. I sent it from my door. They came and picked it up. I got a text a little bit later on. It was at the shipping facility. I got a text the next day. It was already at Pinehurst. It was perfect. I even put the wrong label that they gave me onto it. What did they do? They called me and said, hey, do you want us to put on the proper label for you? I was like, yeah, I'm Pat Mayo. I'm a goober. I don't know how to do this. You guys handle it for me. And they did. It was such a relieving experience. I didn't go to Pinehurst to be stressed out. I went to be relaxed. And ShipSticks made that possible for me. And I'm talking about shipping over an international border here. And it still got there in a day, and it made it back to me in 2 days. So I had my sticks ready to go at my door. Right now, ShipSticks is offering my listeners 20% off on the first shipment when you go to shipsticks.com and use the code PatMayo. Go to shipsticks.com and use the code PatMayo to get 20% off your first shipment and save yourself the hassle this golf season. That's ShipSticks, ShipSticks.com. And make sure to use the code PatMayo so they know that I sent you. The weather is warming up, which means it's almost time to get back onto the course full time. And if you really want to up your game, you can take the lessons, you can improve your game, but if you're stuck with those old clubs, nothing is going to change. That's why you need to head on over to your local PXG store for a fitting, because they make the best golf clubs. Period. I just had mine out for the first time on the course at Pinehurst about 3 weeks ago, and it was awesome. The sound my irons make. I have the Gen 7 irons. They have the chrome top, titanium back. They're awesome. Biggest improvement for me has been the Black Ops driver. I'm carrying the ball about 15 to 20 yards longer off the tee. I'm not a huge hitter. I was about 225, 230 carry off the tee with my old driver. Get the new Black Ops driver, carrying it 245, 250. Hell, I had a 270 drive carrying bunkers down at Pinehurst number 4 on my last day. Once I was really starting to heat up with my clubs, it was amazing. It was so easy to get the fitting done, and it was the fastest way that I have found to improve my game to a point where I'm ready to tackle any course at this point. You can too. And for a limited time, you can save up to 20% on your entire order. Head on over to pxg.com/PatMayo. That's pxg.com/PatMayo to save up to 20% on your entire order. pxg.com/PatMayo. Restrictions apply. See site for details. Tim's going with Bryson. Bryson is on this board right now. Betting odds sponsored by CoolBet.com. And once again, if you're in Canada outside of Ontario, go play on CoolBet. If you hit the description, you can opt in to the PME giveaway for that free trip to Toronto to come see us live, Canadian Open, Blue Jays tickets, whatever it might be. He is 18-1 to win the Masters. Part of this, and I think the difficult part is, Jeff, is crossing the guys off. So we go to the top of the list at plus 460. You got Scotty Scheffler. Rory is plus 675. And then it's a major drop down to the next level. Colin and Rahm both 16-1. Ludwig and Bryson both 18-1. Xander's at 20. JT's at 25. Hideki is at 28, and then Brooks is 10th on this betting board at 33-1. Can we make some cross-offs right now? Because I think that not to say that I don't think that he's going to win, I am not going to bet Scotty Scheffler at even 5-1. He would become the first player since Jack Nicklaus in the early 60s to win 3 Masters in 4 years. It would be a big achievement if he could do it, and if anyone watched my trend show with Dave Tyndall on the weekend, defending champs just don't do well at the Masters. Scotty did pretty well to sneak into the top 10 2 years ago following his win, but there's just so much obligation. I even saw Scotty there while they were delaying the Valero Texas Open on the weekend to show the drive, chip, and putt contest. Scotty's just out there handing out trophies. He has to do the dinner. He's playing around with his mom over the weekend. Like, there's so much pressure on the Masters winner that there's a reason we haven't seen anyone go back-to-back since Tiger.
Yeah. Except Tim thought he went back to back in our Masters draft. I agree. I mean, there's all those reasons. Even last year with Rahm and his new normal of live and being ex-champ, he was like a quick day one. There's just red ink there for me. And congrats to Scotty bettors. If you bet him and he wins, I'll give you a high five. I'll say, it'll feel like when a little bit better than betting Saquon to score first touchdown or something. I know that's like, that's like pretentious golf outright better here, but he hasn't won yet this year. I'm not playing no without markets this week. I am afraid of him. Maybe I should be more afraid of him than I actually am, but yeah, no. I mean, it doesn't even come into consideration for me.
Rory is up next on that board. I do think that if you had $100 to wager, that's all you had, and you wanted to bet on the Masters to have a sweat come Sunday, I think my $100 would go on Rory. It's not for me. I don't think that I'm going to get there. If there's a boost or whatever, and he gets to 10-1, I would consider it. The problem is I'll probably have all my other bets in by that point, and then I'll be overexposed, and I'm not going to bet him at 10-1. So maybe I'll try to wait. I'll try to practice patience, but I'm not good at that. Like I said earlier, it's when we look back at this a week from now and Rory has won, you'd think to yourself, why the hell did we all just bet Rory? It made the most sense.
Yeah, I'm not going to miss it though at 6.5. I'll be happy. Props to people that had the courage and the gumption to one bullet Rory. I don't think you're going to see that boost at 10-1. I think there's just a lot of money this week, Pat, on 2 golf bets. Like you mentioned, the Spieth odds. I think a lot of people just come in a few bucks on Spieth, a few more bucks on Rory, and that's their Masters ticket. Like that's it.
Yeah, if I had to guess how the breakdown is going to work this week when they show off those, here's the amount of handle and the amount of money that we have on certain golfers. Like within our betting community, like there's going to be a lot of money on Bobby Mack. I mean, I've already bet on Bobby Mack. Akshay is another one just because he had deep odds. Sergio, like I mentioned, Sergio's prices have just got out of hand because we've already all bet him. Henley and Straka will be up there as well. But when you look at the overall hold, it's going to be Scotty and Rory 1 and 2, probably Bryson number 3, and then it's probably Spieth. That's just generally how it goes.
I think that's pretty accurate. I think Brooks might actually get a few of that like generic money as well. And like I said to Tim, I mean, he doesn't actually bet, but to us outright bettors, you're betting in this range. Like Sunday, a miscut's going to mean the same as third place. We're going to get the sweat out of it, but we're not. You're not place betting with these guys, and you're betting for the ceiling. And to win this thing, it's going to freaking take it. So. Yeah, that's what we're betting on. There's a few guys I might be. And when I say we're just crossing out from betting because I don't see a way. As much as I love the guy, I don't see a way where I'm going to bet Ludwig this week, Pat.
Coming off the miscut is a tough scene, and he's just been weirdly. I wrote this up that he. Victor and Hideki, despite having wins coming in, which is usually a through line of something you want your guys to do coming in, other than their wins, they've played pretty terrible this year.
Yeah, he was sick in the Farmers, but Ludwig was either like, I guess I'm not really going to count a century looking at his table here. Yeah, it's either like decent or I've got an excuse or he just played horrible.
Yeah, like he's coming off a miscut at the Players and a miscut at Valero. Like very rarely do you like it hasn't happened since 2009. Like I said with Angel, but missing 2 cuts in a row coming in would be kind of unheard of to win.
And Tim mentioned it, and I pointed out to that stat I saw with DJ. But it just seems like back to back. There's a lot of like you're eager to like, oh, the guy is like he's destined to pull it off. I feel like in the same way after that Fall Masters, people were so excited to be betting like Willie and Sungjae in the next one, right? Maybe they were coming in with better form than Ludwig is at the moment. But yeah, just history. It's hard. You mentioned the back-to-back, Pat. It's hard to finish even T5 for 2 straight years, let alone win for 2 straight years. Dustin at a 5th and a win. In that Fall Masters, as we mentioned, and I don't think guys repeat that since.
No, and even to take a look at it, Zal was 2nd, then he came 6th the next year. So he's just on the outside of that.
Yeah. Let's see. We've just come off a 90-1 winner, a 40-1 winner, a 80-1 winner. We're going back to the top. So I don't know what the fair odds would be, Pat, or even if someone had like a few $100 this week. I'm sure there will be Scotty, Rory. You get Scotty and Rory versus the field. What's that going to pay? 2-1?
I don't know. There is a bet. If you really want to make this bet, I mean, it's capped on how much you can bet on it. But Cool Bet on the main page right now is offering an anytime major bet, Scotty and Rory, and it is boosted up to $450, I think. So I bet that.
That's for the whole year?
It's plus 427 to win a major, one of them.
The whole year?
The whole year.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Sure, that's...
I mean, those are better odds those are better odds than just betting Scotty at this tournament.
People like to mock those bets or like mock how much the books will let you win on something like that. And I'm like, just... That's like the dude when they... I always say it. That's like the better, I don't want to do the rant, but it's like Gatorade's on sale at the local like Walmart, great deal, and you're just wanting to get like 1 6-pack, and you have to fight through these like people who own convenience stores, who just want to fill their fridge with them for like $4 a pop or something, and I'm just like, I'm in the store that day, oh, great deal, let me grab one. They look at you like as they've got their children, they're filling up carts.
I don't want to beat around the bush anymore. I like John Rahm a lot. I need to be convinced to pull the trigger, but everything in me wants to bet him.
So I've got 2 players in this tier. he is one of them. He's one of them. I some of the finer things just look off since he's gone to live. And I don't want to nitpick in like the 90 minutes of John Rahm I've watched this calendar year, now that we're actually here. Like some good, some bad from last week, mostly really lovely from what I saw. But just some of like the finer touch parts of the game just haven't seemed to be right, in my opinion. But I also don't watch enough to maybe be fair there. I like this pick. I'm hoping the number can get maybe bigger. What was it that it's like, did it drop since Doral? I'm trying to remember was he 18 or 20 ever?
He was floating at 20 on some places, but the majority of places had him 15, 16, or 17. He's now reestablished himself as 15 in most markets. Coolbet has him at 16 at the moment. And it's probably, you might be able to get, if he isn't one of those four guys that everyone is betting, if people load up like Tim and say that Bryson's going to win, and they bet on Bryson, they'll swap on the leaderboard. So I'm not super worried about missing out on the 16 right now. I would guess that it probably gets a little bit better for us, the better, the longer we wait with Rahm. I can be completely off base with this. Maybe everyone loves Rahm this week and it's not unique to me. But he has no finish outside the top 10 on LIV. It's not the most impressive thing in the world, but it just shows he's consistently playing well. He doesn't really take a lot of off weeks, even when his game just deteriorated at Doral on Sunday on LIV. It happened twice during the round, and he battled back the first time. And then he knew he had to go make some birdies on very difficult holes if he was actually going to have a chance to win. And that's always the one good thing with Rahm, is that I'm not too concerned when he flames out towards the end of a round when he's going to try to win, because at least he knows this is what I have to do to win. He's not playing for second place. He's playing for first place. If that means he makes back-to-back double bogeys, like whatever. If he didn't try to aim at the pin, he wasn't going to win anyway.
I totally agree with that. And again, we're playing for the ceiling here. And if you want to be of the mindset, which I think is fair, and I think even when I do make a couple bets on guys I like down the board, sometimes being generous, saying 20 guys can win is like too generous. It might just be like 7 or 8. And I think Rahm is in that group. So I'm swimming around this one. You're right. I was looking at the odds checker grids this weekend, and I saw 120, but I didn't have access to that book, and I wasn't ready to make a bet. I got to think this through. I wasn't rushing a John Rahm bet because he was steaming up Doral, but I think last year was a write-off for him here, and I might want to be in on this. There's another guy in this tier.
Well,
we can go through them all.
Well, we don't have to go through all of them, but just I've already mentioned the guys that I'm not going at. So I'm not going to be on Ludwig. I'm not going to be on Hideki. Rory and Scotty are just too steep for my liking right now. Bryson, I gave the case with Tim. Just I don't like him at Augusta unless circumstances are right. Now, if you wanted to double his odds, then all of a sudden, then yeah, sure, give me Bryson at 35-1, at 18-1. I just think that he is a prototype for the PGA Championship and the U.S. Open. Like that is his game. Then you look at Xander. I mean, Xander, you can make a very compelling case for. It's a generous number based on his history, but it's the same guy who's coming off of either intercostal rib injury or Marilyn Manson surgery for increased flexibility. Who can say? But he hasn't been good since he's been back. He led the Valero in approach, but he can't drive, he can't chip, and he can't putt. That's a real problem going into the Masters if the only thing you can do is maybe peak with your irons, and he wasn't facing all of these guys at the Valspar. He was facing not these guys, a bunch of jabronis, basically, in that field. So something's been off with him. Like Rory, when you take a step back and look at it, if you were going to say, oh boy, this was really obvious that this guy is going to win, I think Rory is number 1 in those power rankings. I think that Morikawa, Thomas, and Henley would be the next 3 on that list. When you take a look at it, be like, oh, all the tea leaves were there. Of course they won.
Yeah. I mean, I might rather bet Xander than that entire list.
Because he just won 2 majors, obviously. I understand why, but I think that we're pretty much overlooking that if you have to come in with good form into the Masters, which is like the one thing proven over and over and over again that you need, he just doesn't have it.
I could be I could just be a kid in the front row, a Kenny Kim at the strip club, and my eyes are just googly thinking those approach numbers at the Valspar are good enough. If I'm willing to bet on John Rahm, I have to be willing to bet on fucking Xander Schauffele, and I'm seeing some great numbers.
What's
What's
the biggest one you've seen?
25.
Okay. Why is he more live to win than Thomas is, I guess, is my question. I know that Thomas has burned everyone, but the stat profile on Thomas just looks so much better.
I have already made a decision that I am not betting on someone to end their 500-day win drought at Augusta.
Okay.
That's it. Yeah, can Justin Thomas win? Absolutely. Can Colin Morikawa win? Holy fuck. The stats point that it's about time. They're playing great. They're both major champions. If they're playing well and really well, the live lines are going to price them. I mean, he's already 14-1, but he's going to be live priced with the respect of having won 2 majors, irrespective of the form. And he could win. He should win. I wouldn't be surprised at all. This thing is so fucking hard. Trying to pick these outrights are so fucking hard. Sometimes you just got to pick our lane and go with it, and you find reasons to just cross guys off. And you've given reasons as to why a lot of people probably will cross Xander off. There's reasons blindly why people will cross John Rahm off. For me, I just don't think a win drought of this length will end here. It was pointed out to me, though, Pat, that Hideki had about something in the 400 range days without a win. He's 40-1, not 14.
Hideki,
so that would just be a bit of a count.
Sure, but I mean, and Hideki didn't have quite the form coming in as Morikawa or Thomas does at the same time. They're playing good enough to win, they just haven't won, and maybe that's the thing that's holding them back. Maybe they're saving it all for Augusta. Who knows? But Hideki winning is such an outlier when you look at all of the other champions. Sometimes. And maybe that's what you're trying to bet on this time if you're going down the board. They're oh, this guy that I could see with a Masters championship at some point in his career, he just happened to get it right now, and it didn't matter.
Yeah, and he was in that middle of the odds board, which, like we said, before the last 4 or 5 years was pretty kind to us betting. When we started doing this thing, it was coming up middle. The whole fucking thing was in that middle. Not anymore. I'm certainly not thinking any long shots. Yeah. I don't know. Right now, Morikawa's got ink. There's not ink on Thomas. Because, again, I've seen something with 25, and the stats can make me, really tempted. 24 something can make me really tempted for that. But at 14-1, 500 days, I'd like someone, I got my own guys who haven't won in 2 years to bet on.
So are we done with this tier? It sounds like we're both gravitating towards Rahm. You might like Xander. I could see myself just pissing away money on Thomas because I haven't done that in a while. Everyone else has been doing that for the past few months. I haven't. Maybe it's now my turn to donate to Justin Thomas.
Yeah, it's great, fantastic player. Maybe it is your time. Maybe it's his time. 25-1, a cool bet. That's for the form. That seems quite fair. I'd rather bet Thomas at 25 than Morikawa at 14.
Lot of green across that board. I think I'm with you. I think that Morikawa is probably closer to winning. Plus, his Masters form has just been really good. I think Thomas has missed the last 2 cuts at the Masters. But people talk about his putting woes. I don't want to say that they're in the past, but he's putted pretty well so far in 2025. It's actually the driving. And when I went back and I did the deep dive, this came up on the research show, that if you're not driving the ball well, and there are certain guys that have outperformed their general baseline, Patrick Reed being the very top of that list of guys that drive the ball better at the Masters than any other course ever. But there's only so many that have gained a quarter stroke or 3/4 of a stroke per round at Augusta over the last 2 years. Those are the types of guys that I really want to be in on. Yes, you need to hit the ball well. Yes, you need to hit your irons well. You need to be able to chip. You can't putt yourself out of the tournament. You can't chip yourself out of the tournament. You can't just lose with your irons, unless you're Cam Smith because you do the other 2 things so well. But you need to be fine at those. And the only 2 outliers from the past, hell, even going back to Willett, so the past 10 years at the Masters, the only 2 guys to gain fewer than 3 strokes with their driver are Tiger and Hideki. And Tiger led the field in approach the year he won and was good around the greens and on the green. And Hideki gained almost 6 strokes around the green and putted the lights out the year that he won. So you need to have an outlier week somewhere else. And they still gained off the tee. They gained 1.5 and 1.8. But when you look at Dustin, Rahm, Scotty, all those guys are in the top 10 of driving.
Before we leave the top group, And yeah, I mean, like I said, the road to the winner is kind of laid out for you. And overthinking it is pretty stupid. But we got a lot of content hours to fill here, and we're going to overthink everything. I had something else, but I was overthinking it.
Well, how about this? I'll give you the top 10 guys in this field from fantasynational.com. We're running a Masters discount right now at Fantasy National. If you want to get in stats, tools, you can manipulate it any way you want to do your research. It's a ton of fun. And outside of the Masters, we have the best leaderboard app in the business. You'll never be on the PGA Tour terrible app again to follow a leaderboard. You will use the Fantasy National leaderboard. Trust me when I tell you that. You want to use the Masters app this week because it's great. The top 10 drivers over the past 24 rounds entering Augusta. Number 1, Bryson, Rory, Ludwig, Pendrith, Neiman, Bobby Mack, Scheffler, Brooks, Morikawa, Corey Connors. Those are your top 10. 2 Canadians.
I think they'll perform well.
I could see Pendrith in his debut having not a lot of fun at Augusta.
Who of the guys in that like top tier of betting after Rory, who's got the most, like, where would you rank like the pressure meters?
The pressure meter?
Like who's got, after Rory's in like his own god tier of pressure, but whether like you think it's like actual pressure or in their own head, like after Rory, like
I think it's 2 subsets of guys, and I think the pressure manifests in 2 completely different ways. I think you have Morikawa and Thomas as 2, and then you have Rahm and Bryson as the other 2, but for two totally different reasons. There's a lot of pressure on Rahm and Bryson to perform, representing LIV and like expanding that brand. Although I started to think, we've always talked about no one has done better for themselves by going to LIV than Bryson. He's the one guy that's really put it to good use. He's put the money to good use. He's become a bigger star than ever before, and we don't even have to see him every week now, and that actually does help his image. When I started to like a roundabout think about it, though, has he actually done anything for LIV or just himself?
Mainly just himself. There's a whole other side topic, which I don't really know enough details on, but there's some like weird potential dispute that I don't even want to say it, but he just found out that he doesn't even own his own YouTube channel.
Really?
That like LIV actually owns it.
Well, now he's doing good work like for LIV, making money.
Yeah, I guarantee it'd be their most profitable thing related to the venture. Almost like something in the contract is almost like an NIL, like they own their name, image, and likeness. It's a bit of as someone who's like kind of like really in the weeds with some of that stuff. That's something that I just sort of heard about this week, and it was apparently one of the reasons why he wasn't in their Creator Classic thing. That's the duels.
Makes sense.
Yeah, because he's in some sort of like current online, not pleased with something there. So that's something I've heard. Maybe that's total bullshit, but we shall see. And yeah, I guess you're right. They feel like they have their own internalized pressure to, I guess, carrying the LIV flag and being their top players on the boards. But then, I don't know, I look at a guy also like Xander, other than the kids in there, like he's got less pressure than anybody.
I think Scheffler and Xander have the least amount of pressure of any of these guys.
If anything, Scheffler will start feeling the pressure at the other majors.
Agreed. Like he has the 2 Masters. We know he can win the Masters. Is he going to be this guy of our generation where we look, it's like, oh, Scheffler won 4 majors. They were all Masters. Couldn't do anything against the other ones.
He's going to be like a more extreme Bubba Watson in the end with his like major career. No, that's like, I'm just saying, be like losers like me on the internet in a year will be like, hello, you got it for me to respect you. You're going to have to win one of these other majors. You like that course. We get it, but you got to show that you could do it. We're not going to be having that debate. But I would have thought 2 years ago that debate probably would have been settled by now. Yeah, stress-free, pressure-free, defending champ. I guess both of them have had off-season injuries, so their seasons aren't even on proper schedule. As for Xander, like hopefully TGL got the driver tuned up, but I doubt it. but I can hope if I'm going to pull the trigger at 25. But I think for a guy that won 2 majors last year, I don't know, and this course like works for him. I guess when you're plus across the board, every course works for you. That number gets I'm ready to pull the trigger now, maybe.
All right, so you're big on Xander. Let's talk about Brooks very briefly. You said that you were out on him. Do you think his number drifts at all from 33 to 1? Do we get a 40 on Brooks?
So I've seen the last few years, sometimes the books, like this is the player books like to boost. Like if I want to make boost projections this week, Brooks and Spieth.
Because they're convinced that those two guys are not going to win.
And they'll take.
Although Spieth is now, I mean, I think he does. He doesn't usually pick. Cust doesn't usually pick Spieth as his number 1 guy who can't win. He's usually number 2. Maybe this is the boost that he needs.
Maybe Spieth playing well here should surprise. Certainly wouldn't surprise me. I could just see the boost. The odd is already sort of ridiculous that the books can give you a fair number and you think you're getting a boost. It's like you think you're getting a deal.
What would be the odds that you would have to have on Spieth to bet him this week? Because I have a number in mind.
100?
I was going to say 75.
Yeah, 80. Like 80 would be the floor where like he would survive the not red ink when I just try to cross names off.
He does have decent form coming in.
He's playing fine. He's just he's an experience. He's fun. He's a roller coaster. Hopefully he it'll be great TV when he makes a couple moments this week.
Do you want me to read off his past few years, his career at the Masters?
He deserves it. Let's hear it.
Miscut a year ago, 4th. The year before that, miscut the year before that, 3rd. That was the Dustin. No, that was the Hideki year. He came in 3rd. 46th, 21st, 3rd. That was the Reed year when he stormed on Sunday and almost caught up to Fowler and Reed. He was 11th the year before that, 2nd, 1st, 2nd.
Magical.
I get it, and it's much better than like Brooks does not have a great track record at Augusta. He had the year where he was in the final group with Rahm, and that was the one year the year that Tiger won, he was like around, but he had no chance of winning. There was a bunch of guys who the broadcast did a good job of making it seem like, but I remember Bubba and Cantley because I had money on both of them. It's like, they're making a run here. If everyone just bogeys out, they're going to be great. It's like, no, they lost by like 5.
Yeah, Brooks does have a second though.
He does. But again, I do feel like what was weird about that year? It was the most extreme weather year we have ever seen. At least, I don't know, ever seen, but the past, basically since the Zach Johnson 2007 win, it was the most extreme weather that we've seen. They played, 30 holes on Sunday. And like
his second got overshadowed by Phil's performance that week too.
Yes, and then in 2019, he was second to Tiger, but he went and posted and didn't really actually have a chance of winning.
I wouldn't be shocked. Like he's Brooks Koepka, so if he 5-time major champion, I'm not counting him out, but I'm not betting on number 6.
I mean, I would you probably, if he has a terrible Masters, go lock in some PGA Championship and U.S. Open futures. That's usually the play.
That works. The traffic's not going to move on a guy like that. Like it's just not.
Yeah, past 4 years for Brooks at Augusta, 45th, 2nd, miscut.
One of those years, I think he was hurt, but yeah, you bet not. Here's the thing, though, Pat. Like this thing I've already said twice. I'm not going to say it again. You bet on Brooks Koepka. You're betting on the ceiling.
I'll bet you will.
You're just betting on the ceiling. Like I'm not going to argue with someone if Brooks hits 40 to 1 this week. Like I'm betting on Brooks Koepka, 5-time major champion. If he misses the cut, it's the same as finishing great but not winning. Like I'm betting on the guy to win. He's got win equity. I have no argument on that.
Well, coming up after this, the first of the big bets that I have in on the Masters comes from this next range. Stay tuned. Outdoor golf season is almost here, but Is your swing ready? With 126 X-Golf locations across 38 states, it's never been easier to dial in your swing year-round. I can speak to this. Going to the simulators all winter long, especially the good ones. You can go to crappy simulators. You don't want to go there. You want to go to X-Golf and really prep your game and hit the season firing. X-Golf's state-of-the-art simulators let you play full rounds, tee to green with unmatched short game realism. X-Golf's Auto Tee system ensures you're always ready to bomb a drive. No delays or automatic two-putts, just real, competitive golf in a lively sports bar environment. Love a little competition? X-Golf's handicap leagues and tournaments give every golfer a shot at winning incredible prizes. Upcoming spring tournaments include the Majors, where you could win a beach or mountain vacation, or the Cinco de Mayo Scramble, win a trip to New Belgium Brewery in Asheville, and that is just the start. So visit playxgolf.com to find your nearest X-Golf and book your tee time today. Again, trust me on this, you're going to want to go to X-Golf, so visit playxgolf.com. I'm going to tell you about Nutrafol one again because I believe that everyone should have thick, luscious hair growing off the top of their scalp. And Nutrafol is the #1 dermatologist-recommended hair growth supplement brand trusted by over 1.5 million people. See thicker, stronger, faster-growing hair with less shedding in just 3 to 6 months with Nutrafol. Building a hair growth routine is simple. Purchase online, no prescription required, automated deliveries, and free shipping keep you on track. Plus, with a Nutrafol subscription, you can save up to 20%. You'll have access to free naturopathic doctor consults, and a Headspace meditation membership is also included. So start your hair growth journey with Nutrafol. For a limited time, Nutrafol is offering my listeners $10 off your first month subscription and free shipping when you go to Nutrafol.com and enter the promo code PATMAYO. Find out why over 4,500 healthcare professionals and stylists recommend Nutrafol for healthier hair. Nutrafol.com, spelled Nutrafol.com. Promo code PatMayo. That's Nutrafol.com. Promo code PatMayo. If you're around my age when you were a kid, you probably just wore boxers all the time. They were big, they were baggy, they made it look like you had fat rolls at the top of your thighs because they got so bunched up anytime that you wore jeans. Not really my jam at this point in my life. I am all over the Skims stretch briefs right now. They're sleek. They're athletic. I wear them when I go golfing. I wear them all the time. They're the only pair of underwear I actually own right now. They're super comfortable. You know, they make sure that your junk is firmly tight in there because you don't want to be walking around with loose junk when you're running, when you're trying to hit a golf ball, or just, you know, when you get a little bit older and you start to get a bit, I don't know how to say this, saggy a little bit, that, you know, they don't want to be slapping off the inside of your thighs. You don't want that at all. And Skims makes that possible with their awesome stretch brief underwear. It's like you're wearing nothing at all, but still completely, fully secure at all times. So shop Skims Men at skims.com and any Skims stores and let them know that I sent you. After you place your order, select podcast in the survey and select the Pat Mayo Experience in the drop-down menu that follows. Skims is the official underwear partner of the NBA, WNBA, and USA Basketball. If you want to go straight to the site, go to www.skims.com/PatMayo. Now that the weather's heating up for almost everyone, you need to flip your wardrobe. And if you're anything like me, summertime means more outfit changes. Golf, work, gym, playground with the kids, restaurants, whatever it is that you do, it probably requires a change of clothing. What you need are shorts and pants that look the part for all those places that are actually comfortable. And that's a hard thing to do. And I'm sure I'm not the only one who's tried wearing a pair of regular golf shorts to dinner after playing earlier that day, only to have your wife tell you that you need to go change because now you're dressed like that creepy guy at the office who wears a golf shirt and golf shorts to work every single day, and it's just a real bad vibe. But here's the thing. Since I've started wearing bird dogs, hasn't said a word. They look the part for the course and everywhere else. Plus, unlike my dressier shorts, bird dogs are actually comfortable. They look the same, but they're not just chafing the inside of my thighs the entire time. I basically wear them everywhere now. And when I was at Pinehurst, a place that's really not known for the casual look, I was able to wear my bird dogs while I was playing, and then I wore the exact same shorts to the dress code steakhouse later that night. Everyone was uncomfortable as they were filling their guts with food. Not Pat Mayo, because I have my bird dogs. No issues whatsoever. And for a limited time, my listeners get a free hat with any order when you use code PATMAYO at birddogs.com. Get this hat completely free when you use code PATMAYO at birddogs.com. Show support for the Pat Mayo experience and let them know that I sent you. 30 to 50 on the betting board, powered by coolbet.com. Again, opt into that Canadian Open giveaway if you live in Canada outside of Ontario. And boom, you can win a trip to come see us live along with a Canadian Open experience, Blue Jays experience. All details down in the description right now. Neiman is 33. We just talked about Spieth. He's also 33. Cantlay's 40. Your boy Fleetwood is 40. Victor is 40. Lowry is 40. Henley, Min, Lee, Tyrrell, Atten, and Cam Smith are all 50. I placed and so is Will Zalatoris, also coming in at 50 on the odds board at CoolBet right now. This morning, I was waiting for the number to materialize. I was looking around. It was 33 or 35 or 37, and then boom, thanks to our good friends at CoolBet, I saw the 40 there. I've made a significant wager on Shane Lowry to win the Masters.
Yeah.
You're not sold. You don't like that at all, do you?
No, listen, it's just one of those things. I got my own guy that seems like he can't win tournaments.
The guy, he's won a major. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but it's the same thing. Like, the guy just seems to struggle late in like, everything works. He was a major darling on the betting board a year ago, and it seemed like every major. He's a lovely player, a fantastic player. It's like he just seems to not know how to hit putts on Sunday. He's as good of a bet as any, and this thing's wide open when the top doesn't win. I'm just like, I'm not like running to find myself a best number on it.
I was hoping
I think he'll be popular. I don't think he'll not be popular. A lot of people, yourself included, who I have great respect for, are going to make an outright Shane Lowry bet. I don't know. There wasn't really much in that 40 to 60 that like does it for me. I don't know. Feel like someone's like neutered me or something.
This part of the odds board's a little bit different. We'll get some drift on this. I would expect Lowry's number to get crushed. I know I'm not the only person who's going to be on this. And Henley at 50 right now, I could see him being 35 by the time they tee off.
You may well have to bet Henley after I laughed at it. I like Henley at 50 more than Lowry at 40.
I don't. Maybe this is the year Henley can finally put it all together, but just even taking a look at Lowry's Masters history, it works out really well. And if you just look at Henley's tee to green numbers, they're amazing. He's been making his putts. He's been a top 5 player in the world in 2025. That's undeniable, but just based on his results and statistics and watching him play. But with Lowry, he has the major championship experience. I do equate Opens to the Masters, and I think that those skill sets do translate a little bit. And over the past 2 Masters, there's only been a handful of players that have gained over 3/4 of a stroke per round with their driver. Bryson, Cam Young, Ludwig, Rory, Scotty, Min, Mathieu Pavon, Ben An, Rahm, Neiman, Straka, and Lowry. Those are the entire list. So when you take back and take a look at Lowry's past 3, he didn't struggle off the tee last year. He gained, but it was only 0.6 of a stroke, 4.6 and 5 the 2 years before that. He had a bad Masters last year. He lost 8 strokes putting. Ludwig gained 8 strokes last year. He lost 8 strokes on the green, and it was by far his worst putting performance of his career. It actually tied Jeff with the worst putting performance of his career. Minus 7.8 strokes lost on the green. Do you know the other tournament he lost 7.8 strokes putting in?
No, unless, I see a few ugly ones there. I just ran into that Masters you're talking about. So you can just say no one needs to watch me scroll.
It was at Firestone in the 2009 WGC Bridgestone, a tournament that he would win at Firestone just a couple of years later. So one bad year of putting doesn't necessarily equate to another bad year of putting. Not that Shane Lowry's a great putter by any means, but he has gained in 4 of his last 6 starts on the greens at Augusta. He's gained over 4 strokes on approach in 3 of his past 5, and then over 4.6 strokes in 2 of his past 3. He has the right game for Augusta. Can he get it all together? That's really the big question here, but he has a top 5 at the Masters already. He's a former major champion, and he's just been lingering on leaderboards. He was second at Pebble Beach. He was 7th at Bay Hill. He was 8th at the Valspar. He was 20th at the Players, and that was a rally back at the Players to get it in. He was 11th at Honda. Like, he's having a good year. It's not great, but all of his form fits. He's driving it really well right now. The approach play has been awesome. We know how lights out he is around the green. He doesn't have to gain 8 strokes putting. He just needs to gain 2 strokes putting and do everything else he does well. Out of all the guys in this range, he's the one in form with the right skill set, to me, to win the green jacket. And it'd be a big green jacket, too. He's a big man. He'd fit into it like I fit into this one.
I would be thrilled for him. You made a great case. Listen, I got no bets. So, and I can be talked in. You made a good case. I'm not like running. God forbid the guy gets 33 to 1 or something.
You know what? I'm going to ask my friends at CoolBet to boost him up to 45 or 50 for me. How about that?
Yeah, listen, that's you made a very strong case. I'm only going to make one annoying counter. It's actually really unfair, but it's the only in just trying to play devil's advocate on the form. It's he's world renowned, the greatest Florida golfer ever. So, he's always seemingly coming into the Masters with really good form.
Okay.
No one gains more strokes in Florida than this guy. So, the runway is always great. And it's, greater than great. Those are strong events. That's 7 AP, 20 players. He sniffed. I bet you, I mean, it's all a blur because it blurs together. There were a couple of those tournaments where he was sniffing at the top probably for a bit of it too.
At API he was. I would wager that Corey Connors over the past few years has more strokes gained in Florida.
Okay. He's
Or
catching up.
or Scotty Scheffler, who just wins a bunch of tournaments in Florida.
No, but I think it's factual about this guy in Florida. I heard it on a broadcast this season. Now their stats could be 3 years old.
You mean the same broadcast that are world class putter Corey Connors on the scene?
No, the same broadcast Smiley Kaufman. Oh, this shot looks great. Right on line. 30 yards short right.
I would give them a pass for Valero on Sunday because the winds were howling and the wind would just crush it. I can give you strokes gained in Florida. We have that on Fantasy National. I'll just look up Florida.
That's probably we probably named the 3 players. Who else might be?
Straka's probably up there as well.
Oh yeah. Okay.
It's Scotty Scheffler, and it's not remotely close. It's more than a stroke.
He's
Close to
God tier. God tier.
And then it's Hatton, Bryson, Lowry, Clark, Henley, Rory, Connors.
Great group. I guess something you get into later, you might say bet both. But Straka doubled the odds of Lowry.
I mean, I'm not opposed to Straka, but I equate, and maybe it's my own biases about it, and maybe I should equate Henley more as the poor man's Morikawa, or the same as Morikawa, because their stats look awfully similar. But I would put Henley in the Straka tier to me. I think Lowry's a better player than these guys.
Okay. Putting a smiley face. There wasn't red ink yet through Lowry because everything lead up is too good. I just wasn't, when you said I smashed a guy this morning, it wasn't the name I would have picked.
And you know what? Face. I'm not usually smashing guys in the morning. That's for later on in the day. In the morning, I was all over it.
That's all me. Smiley face, double smiley face. We're gonna swim back. You think that thing can get? You think I'll struggle to see 40s?
Yeah, probably. I mean, it's not 40 at most places right now. It's 35.
Okay. Well, if I bet it and he wins, I just gonna have to give the credit to you because I've seen a few people, tip him up already. You did that great. Dave Tyndall, I saw has him as one of his winners this week. You did that great trends show with Dave. Always love those trends articles from Dave. So yeah, I think you two won't be the last that I think see put up Shane.
This is
I guess Rory be happy. Rory be so.
Well, when was and think about this,
Rory winning.
Hold on.
Buddy.
I just gave you my entire why a Canadian has a chance to win due to tarot cards. When was the last time that the Open Championship was at Portrush? And who won?
Well, it was Shane.
It was Shane. And where is the Open Championship this year?
Okay, yeah, sure. It's at Portrush.
And who was the overwhelming favorite and the guy that everyone was behind to win at Portrush?
You're doing it. It was Rory.
And who won? Lowry. Maybe this is just setting up to be the mirror version of that.
Yeah. I'm not giving a third smiley face for that one though. Yeah, it's don't remember where I was going before that, but
Let's talk Neiman, because Neiman's 33. Those odds are silly. Like,
those are raising.
those
are raising.
Like, those will be at least 50 by Tuesday afternoon.
Yeah, for sure.
He would break so many trends if he won. Who is the? I mean, I'll have to at Justin Ray at some point to try to figure this out. Who is the last player to win the Masters without having a top 10 in any other major before?
It just doesn't happen. Didn't Willett even do something sprinkly, or would that be it?
I believe Willett was top 10 at the Open before he won the Masters. Yeah, he did
something. Willett like sprinkled something in, which gave him a bit of life.
Let's see. The Open. He was 6th at the 2015 Open Championship, and then he won the next major at the Masters. Even Reed, for years, it's like, can't bet Reed. He's never had a top 10 in a major. What does he do? He comes 5th or 3rd at the PGA Championship at Quail Hollow. Boom, wins the next Masters. Maybe that's the angle. Maybe I should go look at the U.S. Open from last year and be like, all right, or the Open Championship and see who did well.
Who did well? You're going to bet on Thirsty Lawrence or Billy Ho?
The Thirsty Lawrence, Billy Ho, and Justin Rose.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, Rosie not playing so bad.
I'm locking. I've locked in 2 of those bets, by the way. I'll throw those out now. I'll recap at the end before the odds get smashed. Justin Rose 65-1 first round leader. Patrick Reed 60-1 first round leader.
Obviously, Rory would be happy for Shane, but like, fuck, that'd be like the buddy you golf with. Like, you play 88% of your rounds with one guy. None of you have made a hole in one. You're having like this. Not like it's an actual thing, but it is a thing where it's like who's going to get it first? And then he makes it. Like, you're happy for him. You got to be happy for him. The adrenaline of it, you're happy for him. But like inside, you're like, I'm fucking dying. I'm dying. Yeah.
Oh, this is fun. Do you know who the back end of the top 10 was at the Open last year?
The back end of Scheffler?
Scheffler was 7th. So it was Xander, Rose, Billy Ho, 1, 2, 2. Thirsty Lawrence was 4th. Russell Henley was 5th. Shane Lowry was 6th. Sungjae, Scotty, and Rahm.
Yeah, Lowry had a good week. Got a lot of until the breaks stopped happening. Then he got mad at like volunteers or something. But yeah, a lot of names. You mentioned a lot of names that we've spoken nicely about here.
There's one other guy who finished just outside. Maybe it was T10. No, he was T13. Just after the Da Vinci Code. Dan Brown, Adam Scott, and Matthew Jordan were all inside the top 10. There was 2 guys that really popped for me, and one guy in particular. And I'm not going to bet him to win because I don't think he's going to win the Masters. But he comes in with 2 top 20s in his past 3 starts. You hate him because you bet on him when he absolutely flamed out at one of these. But played really well at the Masters last year and is back to driving the ball amongst the best guys in the world. It's probably a top 20 bet for me right now.
Ben An?
Ben An, yeah.
Yeah. I got no Ben An top 20s to the moon. Go for it. Yeah, and he's a lovely chipper of the golf ball. He's playing great. He's playing great. I agree. There's probably money to be made in Ben An this week.
Can we just call him the banana stand? Banana stand, Ben An. Always money in Ben An.
Yeah, I mean, listen, like Corey Connor's usually the banana stand for me on this show, but like there's always money to be made on that guy usually. But Ben An is kind of like gives a lot of those same vibes.
Byung-Hun An is 4-1 to come inside the top 20. Now the placement bets, the international bets, head-to-head markets, whatever it is. I'm doing a show tomorrow with Cam and Byron, and we're going to be going all over those sorts of bets, but that's just one that stuck out to me right away.
What's his outright number? I'm just trying to correlate that to what 4-1
Oh
is
boy,
worth.
his outright number is 200-1.
Ooh.
I mean, I'll probably bet him 200 to 1 now that I've brought him up on the show because
You'd probably rather get the placings.
Yeah,
Oh, no, that's top 8.
yeah. If I get the top 8, well, I believe it's top 10 placings this week. It depends on where it's at. But let's say you get 100 and I don't know 50 to 1. The top 5 is 1/5. What's that? 30 to 1 for a top 10. I'd probably bet that as well, and have the. Maybe he wins. Maybe he chips in 38 times over the course of the week. Who knows? If you ask him not to putt, he's not so bad. But he'll be on the to make the cut parlay. The other piece I was tinkering around with on the to make miss the cut parlay, I always generally just do to make the cut, but Max Homa is plus 135 to miss the cut at the Masters.
Oh, let's go.
Like everyone's gonna bet.
Dude, you'll at least brag about CLV. That's gonna be like plus 105 by kickoff. Like, get in on that.
It seems
not 105.
It seems
Yeah,
so
there's CLV
easy.
there. Get in on it.
It seems so easy that there's no way it doesn't happen. Like he's gonna come 8th or something.
No. I know he pulled this shenanigan last year. Let him cling to it. No. Oh my God.
Is there anyone else in that 30 to 50 range that you like to bet? Because Zalatoris was really the only one that popped out for me as, you know what, maybe. Yep. Or Minwoo.
Yep.
Minwoo. I mean, I'm not opposed to Tim's pick of Cam Smith. I just don't think that he can ever drive the ball well enough to win. Everything has to go right for him. Not only does he need to be the best putter and chipper in the field, he might need to be top 3 in irons to make up for how bad he is at driving the ball. But he's like an auto top. Like if you want to get in the Cam Smith game, first round leader, as Tim mentioned, probably a good one. Top 10 for Cam Smith is probably good too.
Did you say 30 to 50 or 30 to 80?
30 to 50.
Yeah, just behind that, there's a couple that are peaking for me, but really, at the end of it, yeah, it's Willie Z, who I'm actually seeing I'm seeing one decent number.
What's the lowest?
Or the biggest I'm seeing is 65.
All right.
Yeah.
I would take whatever the best number is, obviously. But right now he's 50 to 1 at coolbet.com. Minwoo is very interesting to me because
let's go.
He's had he's played in 3 Masters. 2 of them have been really good. And is he ever going to come in with better form? Like, you can have a wayward driver here. Maybe not as wayward as some of his drives, but he's elite enough off the tee when things are going right that he can. I mean, I remember when he drove 3 and 4 putted when I had money on him. He missed the cut that year. That wasn't fun. But other than that, like he's playing pretty well.
I like it. As a guy that's got no bets, and if I try to fill out a card, I could easily see him on it. The biggest I'm seeing there is 60. Drive putt ceiling, like just
Here's something interesting about Zalatoris.
Super discount Bryson, but I guess there's like other guys that are like way bigger numbers. So he's almost like he's like the keg Bryson.
Yeah. Zalatoris hasn't missed a cut so far this season, and in his past 3 starts, Valspar, Players, and Bay Hill, 3.4, 5.1, 4.5 on approach, which is amongst the best players in the field. He's been bad around the greens, and it's Will Zalatoris, so he has some staggeringly bad putting numbers in there as well. The driver hasn't been as in tune as when he had before he put on the 15 pounds, but 4 Masters appearances. 1 was a quick withdrawal with a back injury. So in his 3 Masters appearances, 9th, 6th, 2nd, has gained over 5.5 strokes putting twice and has gained in 2 of the 3 times around the green. Never lost off the tee. 2.2 has been his floor. He has the right game for this. I don't know if this is the year, but it's going to come for him.
Do we need like it to be one of the harder installments for him?
Yes, I think you need like a Hideki -10 year. Although last year was -10 as well, wasn't it? Or
And the
-11?
year he finished second, the debutant year was one of the easier years, was it not?
No, you're thinking of the Sungjae Masters. Sungjae played in the Dustin Masters, where the debutants did really well. Zalatoris came second to Hideki.
Oh, okay.
And he was the only debutant inside the top 10. But for whatever reason, the harder it gets, the faster and firmer the greens get, Will Zalatoris plays better. I don't know if his game is quite there this year based on the track record that we've seen, but he's been better than maybe his results have shown.
I could be potentially willing to go there. But you sort of you highlighted the names in this tier that I could be a sucker for, and it's Minwoo and it's Willie Z.
Not Henley.
Henley is. I mean, I could be getting like a lot of force-fed Henley. What's the best? Yeah, 50, 55.
Yeah, and Victor's at 40. Your boy, your boys are right there at 40. Tommy and Victor, and Cantlay. Your secret.
Victor is
your
just
secret
so
guy.
hard. Oh my god, Cantlay and those putts.
He lined up a 2-foot putt for 3 minutes and missed it.
That's the fucking best and the worst. You know, for a guy that won, like even hearing the way Victor like taught going into the final round, after the final round, it's like golf is beautiful and it's magical, but he's like, I still like he doesn't like feel like guys who win tournaments feel in terms of like where their game is at. So he's still very much like the floor, I think, is still very much there in play with Hovland.
What do you think's a better bet?
Play the ceiling.
What do you? Well, I mean, you don't have to play the ceiling. That's one fun thing about the Masters. There's so many markets right now. What do you think is a better bet in terms of actually winning money for your ROI? Victor Hovland at 40-1 to win this Masters, or Victor Hovland to miss the cut at, where is it, plus 185?
I mean, sure, if I was forced to make one of the bets, yeah, we're going to miss the cut. And it's probably the smarter play. I don't see myself betting Victor winning this week at 40-1. It's not really registering. It's like a light shade of red. It's not like red. It's not, haven't smashed it through out, but it's like a red tint. It's currently around Victor's name. So I guess that leaves the other bet.
They flipped Max Homa from plus 135 to minus 130 already. I think too many people saw it. The best bet on the board might be Nick Dunlap to miss the cut at minus 135. That guy can't drive the ball right now. It's just out of bounds every time. He gained 4.5 strokes through 2 rounds on approach at the Masters last year and missed the cut by a mile.
Any like high-end player, like higher-end players you'd be willing to take a miss the cut, like sprinkle at?
Hatton
Like
plus
Xander?
Hatton's game has been lost.
Yeah.
Like
He's going to be like 70-1 this week, probably in 2 days.
He'll probably end up at like right around 100-1 when you take a look at him, because I can't imagine betting him coming in. Right now, his current form on LIV coming in, after starting the year like hot, the end of last year, I bet him to win the PGA Championship, like as a future bet. I was like, oh, 50-1, great odds. Not bad odds. Coming in 20th, 19th, and 33rd on LIV. This is not good, man.
Yeah, you better get it together in the next month, but it's not my problem this week. But yeah, you could be right. I say 70-80. He could flirt with 100 maybe.
Well, let's get to that range then.
There will be huge drifts still.
I agree. And you'll see guys go a collection of people. So I think that we've kind of agreed that like people like Henley and Lowry, their numbers are probably going to get worse. And then almost everyone else from that range, if you don't hear their names on a Monday from people who talk about betting on golf, their numbers are probably going to get bigger. Unless it's Spieth. They might just keep Spieth at 33 because they're taking action on it.
I think it's bigger.
Yeah. Like I said, it's probably going to end up being a boost or something like that. But when we move to 50-100, 3 of the future bets that I have in are in this range. And fortunately, Geoff, we got them at much better numbers than they're at right now. We take a look at it. Let's see here. We at 60-1 or 55-1? Where are we here? 66-1 is next. It goes from 50 to 66, which is really intriguing. It's Akshay, who we have a bet in on at 100-1 from earlier. He's now 66. Wyndham Clark is 80-1. Bobby Mack, I got 150-1 on him. He's now 66-1. He's going to be another name that people bring up this week, and I would still endorse backing him at whatever the best number is. 66-1, sure. If you find an 80, find an 80, whatever it is. I still really like Bobby Mack this week.
Yeah, I think he's going to be really popular. What a great number, 150-1. When did you make that again?
The week before the Players' Championship at Coolbet. They were hanging a 150.
Yeah, there it is. There it is. Caught him. Great play.
Great sponsor. They can help me fund my kids' education if Bobby Mack wins.
Well, you know, last laugh to cool bit. Bum bum bum. It's like Bobby checks a lot of it. I'm big on Boccia there. Wyndham, you say you had a Wyndham future?
No, I don't. Just he's next on the board. It's Wyndham, Connors, Day, Finau, Dustin, Reed, Straka are all 80, and then you're into the 100 to 1 plus guys.
That Straka 80, I think in like 2 hours is gonna play strong.
Should I bet it?
I just think that's a lot of. I mean, just if this thing's wide open, that's as fair a number as there is on the freaking board, I think.
I tend to agree with you. He has the win already this year. He has the top end performances. He has a pretty good Masters history. He was one of the few guys who I mentioned who's gaining a ton off the tee at Augusta, and he's almost setting up to be Patrick Reed of this year. The 2018 Patrick Reed kind of feels like Seb Straka this year.
Yeah, I mean, I could maybe get there on Lowry, but I feel like I'd rather bet Straka at 80 than Lowry at 40. But you can bet them both. Bet them both.
Trying to see what the top 10 Straka number is for the placements. He really feels like a guy I'd want placements with. Doesn't he?
Straka, yeah. He could be another banana stand this week.
Let's see. You can play 1/4, 1/5, or 1/8. Let's see where we're at here on Straka. Yeah, if you want to play here's the problem, and they've done this pretty well. If you want to play the 8 places on Straka, his outright number gets cut to 55 to 1. If you want to play 10 places, he's 40 to 1. So they've really sucked a lot of the juice out of that market. Maybe I just bet him at 80 to 1 to win. You know what? You've sold me, Jeff. Seb Straka, 80 to 1. That can't be right. Oh, no, that's a Ben Ann bet. I was like, geez, that's a really poor payout for the amount that I just tried to bet. 125 on Seb Straka, Jeff, pays 10 grand.
All right, let's get it. Let's go.
I'm in.
I'm gonna be in too.
All right, that'll be the one bet that we make together for this.
Boccia also. We got Boccia as well.
We do, but we got the future on that. Like especially coming off the miscut, I really don't think I can. I still like him to win. Of course, I bet on him. I don't think I'm going to bet him at 66 to 1. Bobby Mack, I would still be willing to. Bhatia, I wouldn't at that number. Is there anyone else from this range? Like, I like Reed enough.
Who?
I like Reed, but first round leader seems more sensible for him.
I still might. I mean, I guess if you like him to win the tournament, you're not going to think what I'm about to say is crazy. I think I might bet Reed to be low live. I haven't seen the prices yet, so it's a crazy thing to say. But at his like outright price point, correlating it, I'll bet him at near the back of that mid back of that ladder on the live ladder. I think I could do it.
I can get behind that as well. The most profitable bet at the Masters over the past 5 years has been Patrick Reed top 20. It's returned the most money.
Yeah. What's that bit? Like, is that an official thing?
Yeah, Byron ran the numbers on it. Like, if you would just bet Scotty to win every year, it would have paid less than betting Patrick Reed to come inside the top 20 every year.
Yeah, honestly, I don't want to like. Not that anyone cares what I say, and I've made bets and lines move against me. So, that's a bet that when the script drops, that's when I'll be looking for. I don't do anything this week without like thinking about the Masters. It's kind of like Super Bowl week. Like the props, they're just like everything. Doesn't matter what I am doing. Doesn't matter what I'm doing. It's like just on my mind. Can't shake it.
Okay, top golfer by category. I'm trying to find live here for you. Low live. Where are we at? Low live. Low live golfer. Patrick Reed in the live market is 12 to 1. You were hoping for more, weren't you?
A little bit, but where does he rank in the market? I mean, it's a 12-man market.
He's 8th on the betting board. Honestly, if I was to bet low live, obviously I like Sergio this week. I like Reed this week. There's a bunch of live guys I do like, Rahm especially. If I was going to take a gamble on this market, because it's a top 3 each way, I'd bet Charles at 40 to 1 with the each way. And just, he was 5th here like 4 years ago.
He's 40 for low live?
He's 40 to 1 for low live. Bubba is last in the market at 66 to 1.
What does Charles pay to win a live event?
Like 80 to 1?
I don't know. Yeah. That's you'll maybe something like that'll come up with you and Cammy tomorrow.
I think the most interesting market, weirdly, is low debutant this year. Because there's last year we got blessed.
Højgaard?
We got blessed last year because we had Nikolai, Ludwig, and Wyndham Clark all as debutants last year, who all had like good form coming and like, hey, these guys are real dudes. Nikolai was coming off the Ryder Cup with Ludwig, and obviously Ludwig came in second. Nikolai was up there for most of it until the very end of Saturday, and Wyndham Clark missed the cut after trying to call out the LIV guys, and it was kind of hilarious. But this year, do you know who the favorite is in the debutante market? Without looking, just a guess.
No, I'm not looking. I'm trying to think. It's so Detry, Højgaard, Pendrith. Who's really good that I forgot?
Now number
Cantor.
10, number 10 in the world rankings is 6-1 as low debutant is Mav McNeely. He's 10th in the world rankings, by the way. That's how illegitimate the world rankings are.
We like that bet?
No, I don't. I feel like this is a bet that you can like go down to. Like it's McNeely, Dietrich, Rye, Davis Thompson, Pendrith, Rasmus, Cantor, Grazerman, Highsmith. You know what? Kevin Yu at 14-1, with the way that his tee to green has been going for him, and he just randomly putts once every 13 weeks. Maybe this is the week. We've seen a lot of bad putters, for whatever reason, be able to putt on these greens. And the rest of his game is good, especially right now.
What's Laurie Cantor?
Laurie Cantor is 9-1. Just thought that was a very interesting market. Again, we'll dig into that more with Cam and Byron. 100-1 plus. At Cool Bet right now, Sergio is still 100-1. If you want Sergio, that's the place to get it. I'm starting to think now that everyone loves Sergio that he probably misses the cut.
No, I'm not. I mean, I'm not betting Sergio to win, but he's not missing the cut.
I mean,
I don't see Sergio missing the cut.
He's missed the cut.
He's just
he's missed the cut 6 of the past 7 years.
He is playing as lovely as he's just playing too lovely. I'd hope he doesn't miss the cut. Although some of those fireball outfits, 2 days of those.
You know what was kind of funny? They were showing there was an overrun on Golf Channel for the drive, chip, and putt, which I alluded to earlier. But they section off the boys and girls by age in different colored shirts, and it looked like a LIV event.
It looked like a LIV event.
I was like, oh, I didn't realize Sergio was in this wearing his red fireballs outfit. It's like, oh no, it's just some 13-year-old kid.
No, just a 13-year-old kid.
But I'm in on Sergio from way back. I've been pumping this up for a while. If you've been watching this show, you've had your chance to get in on Sergio for the longest time. I got him at 175-1 and 125-1. I have no reason to re-up on that number, but he is still 100-1 on CoolBet if you want to get in. And I've already, I made the case for Lowry. I've been making the case for Sergio. It all lines up. It's on him to actually do it, but it's all there.
I mean, I know you say that. I just... The Bobby Mack one is like, I was out to lunch. Like, I don't, I can still get Sergio if I want to bet him at 100. I don't think I'm going to. I can almost confirm I won't. But I'm missing you on that Bobby Mack one. Come on, Fienberg.
Yeah, $50 to pay $7,500. Winning.
Yeah, that's a great bet. That might be
the CLV winner of the week?
Yeah, the outright CLV winner of golf Twitter this week. The 150 Bobby that's going to go off at 50, I think. So you mentioned how he's still 60. It's not something I've pulled, but I think he's going to get shorter.
Yeah, he's still 66 right now at...
Because people still like that. Even, a lot of people can bet that with the placings, and they're like happy for that. To get their placings.
I don't mind it. I thought that like 66, 75 was going to be the number. That's why I was so stunned when I saw it at 150. I was like, well, I'm in. Because I would have been in at 75.
Yeah, there it is.
Sergio is the triple digits long shot that I have. Is there any other long shot that you would consider placing an outright wager on?
I'm seeing like 100, 120 on Patrick Reed.
Okay.
And we're on that LIV wagon. It's actually freaking crazy, Pat, to like scroll back, see like Sung Jae 150 50 to 1 and shit.
He's been
What the hell, buddy?
bad, man.
I know, and his whole thing is like, sure, he didn't like win a ton or win like, live up to like the odds boards each week in terms of outright, but like he's like ATM, right? Like that was his thing. He'd always get so lucky, chip ins on weekends. You see him moving. Oh, Willie Wilcox made a fortune this week being the caddy for Sungjae. I don't know, it's all gone away. I don't I will not be making an outright bet over 100 to 1 this week.
So
so
Sergio is the longest of anyone. I mentioned the Data Golf top 20. Actually, Denny ranks number 20, who I assume is like 3,000 to 1.
Yeah. Like I don't know.
So of the other guys, like Denny is like a super long shot. Sergio's number 19. He's 100 to 1. Ludwig is actually number 18. Then it's Bobby Mack and Seb Straka at 16 and 17. And they're the two other lowest guys that you can bet from this range.
I wouldn't bet with someone else's money back here this week.
So would there be placements? I mentioned Ben Ann as a top 20 bet. He's 200 to 1 outright. I'm not going to bet him to win. Actually, he's only 125. I thought he was double that. I was looking at Cam Young just as the right skill set that he'll just constantly do well at Augusta. And by well, like T18 or something like that. He just has that skill set, and he's playing like better than he was. He's not sniffing any outright bets that I'm going to make, but something to do with him. Would you think about Phil?
Like for a placing? Like what are we talking about here?
Top 10
T20?
Phil to win. 200 to 1.
No, but I do agree that you might be able to catch a number off like a 200 to 1 Cam Young in some.
I don't want the 200 to 1. I want the top 20 associated.
No, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like you want an ancillary of the outright being so high, you might be able to like catch something nice there. I agree. Is sort of what I meant. No, I'm not. I don't think I'm going to be in film markets. What was before Berger got hurt and shit? What did he do here?
He was low debutant. That's his best finish. I believe he was 10th in his first Masters, and that's really all that he's done. He really broke my heart this weekend. What a terrible performance he put up. Going into the weekend T5 and finishing 50th or something. If he ended up finishing T30. But at the Masters in his career, he hasn't played it since 2022. He was 10th in his debut and then got progressively worse. 27th, 32nd, 50th miscut.
So yeah, I don't know if you said find something off 100 to 1, be Berger, maybe Adam Scott.
Adam Scott has not missed the cut at the Masters in 15 years. So I think my initial base that I'm going to do for the Masters to make the cut parlay, and you can go to Underdog right now and play all three of these guys if you want. Use code Mayo, you get your deposit bonus, and you can throw on the Bryson free pick if you're new to boost it up a little bit more as well. But you can go Ben Ann, Phil, Scott, all to make the cut. That's a starting point, I think. You seem unconvinced or dead. I don't know which.
Yeah, I mean, as you say it here on Monday morning, I got nothing. I agree.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't.
That's all I was.
I like them all to miss the cut.
To make the cut or miss the cut?
Make the cut.
Okay, that pays 3.74 to 1. Those three guys at Underdog right now. And there's also a 70% boost. And you can throw on that Bryson free pick and then turn it into 7 to 1 super quickly. So that's going to be one of my official plays. I hope to have one boosted up in the lobby as well. That's a little bit bigger. That pays a little bit more. But that's the base that I'm setting for to make the cut, to miss the cut parlay that's coming later on the week. So reminder to use code Mayo at Underdog right now if you want to go check that out and get those free picks and deposit bonuses. And there's still a ton of drafts to go on right now. Majors only draft, rest of the season draft. There's $50,000 to first place, and these things aren't even close to half full yet. So you might get significant overlay, and I have strategy articles up in my newsletter right now if you want to go take a look at that. I think we're at the last guy I wanted to bring up. I don't think he's going to win, but I want to do something with JJ Spawn.
Huh.
I think
when you say do something, what are we thinking about?
Top 20? He was T23 in his only ever start. He's playing immaculate golf so far this year. He has 2 second-place finishes in his past 4 starts. Like, why not? He's way down the board. And our guy, Michael Kim, if you missed Michael Kim on this show last week, you can go check that out too. But Spawn, look at these numbers from Spawn.
He's been crushing it. He's a flusher. He's a flusher. The biggest outright I'm seeing is 150 to 1. So
200 at cool.
200 a cool bet. If Ben Am was 4 to 1, he should be around that too, right?
Yeah, and I like him on the make the cut too. I'm just going to try to have my belief in JJ Spawn and hope that works out. Time for the quick picks. I know you don't have a ton invested so far, so I'll start while you gather yourself and try to make it work. I got Justin Rose and Patrick Reed, first round leaders. That's in so far. 60 to 1 for Reed, 65 to 1 for Justin Rose. Shane Lowry, 40 to 1. And Seb Straka, 80 to 1. Those two have been made with the current odds. I'm already in on Bobby Mack at 150, Sergio at 175, and Akshay at 100 to 1. Based on their current number, I would still bet Bobby Mack at 66, and I would still bet Sergio at 100. Probably not going to get to Akshay at 66. I like the 100 a little bit left, a little bit on that end. But that's where I'm at with my bets so far for the Masters. What do you got?
Future Baccia, the bet that's in is Seb Straka. In that middle range, I think Minwoo Lee. I'm probably going to bet 2 of JT, Rahm, Xander.
JT?
Like, that's where I'm sitting
now. Hold on. You gave me shit about JT. You're going to bet JT?
I don't think at 25 to 1, like of that group, like when we're comparing him to like Morikawa, like him and Xander at the same price, that would be the one guy I would buck the win streak for. I didn't give you shit about JT. It was Morikawa. It was wrapped up in there.
All right, so that's where you're lingering around right now?
Yeah, Rahm, Xander, and JT. But as of right now, and I know this might I would laugh at myself even before you guys get a chance to laugh at me. I think I'm going to be underexposed on the outright card.
You say that now. That has never happened before.
Yeah, we'll see. I just don't. I don't think I've ever felt less inclined about anybody on a major show before.
It's fair.
And I don't have this future equity that's already taken up so much money that even though I can laugh at, why do I care about $150 after a good football Sunday in October? I don't even have those bets to fall back on. Chips that fell out of my pocket into futures since football. They don't exist for me right now.
All right.
And they're not showing up. I did a full network sweep of my accounts. Every sports book. Offshore, legitimate, streeter. See if there was some drunken futures in there. Can't find one.
All right. Well, that brings us to the one and done picks. And if you're looking for a printable Masters pool, I have that down in the description. You can just download it, print it off. You want to run a work pool amongst your buddies, whatever it might be. There's a PDF in that link down there right now. If you can just print it off, it's completely free. Go check that out. One and done. I had the best week last week with awful Daniel Berger. He beat your awful Keegan Bradley, who beat Cust awful Justin Rose. So bad week for us at Valero. Lost some cash at Valero. Try to win it back this week. I am going to take Jon Rahm.
Did Tim take, I guess, Bryson?
Yeah, he took Bryson. You know what? I'm actually going to take Rory. I'll take Rory as my one and done. I'll be happy when he wins. I'll win no money, and I'll be ahead of you guys in the one and done when he wins.
Oh, shit. I was going to do that. So, okay, so I'll pivot Jon Rahm. And just if I'm not taking Rory, I may as well use a live bullet.
We will do a more in-depth one-and-done breakdown on the live Wednesday show. That's coming 9 a.m. Eastern Time on Mayo Media Network. I'll again be live, I believe, at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on Mayo Media Network. There will be the final bets, the complete breakdown, the DraftKings picks, the underdog drafts. Then I'll have that Q&A session later on. And there will be the debut of the King of the Draft directly after mine, where Spencer and Joel will they're bringing their show over to MMN, and they will be live taking your questions and doing a draft of all of the players for the Masters to get you ready for both DraftKings and your pick'em pools at the very last minute. If you have anything else to tweak, what else are you doing this week, Geoff?
I got a lot of stuff. I agreed to a few things. So just keep an eye on my Twitter if you care about my content. Because if I listed it, I'd forget it. I am super excited though to watch you bink 15K on a cut sweat show this week in a made cut parlay.
I mean, I hit it.
Look forward to that.
I hit it last year. I don't have the highest expectations that I'm going to randomly win like another 200-1 bet.
Well, the people, Pat, come on. I don't know. It's one of my favorite bets of the year, and sweating it. I don't think I dip in as hard as you, but vicariously through you as well.
All right, that'll do it for me. If you want to get into the giveaway for the 5K trip or the $1,000 in giveaways, hit the description, smash the like, and sub to the channel while you're here. If you want to leave us our audio review on Apple or Spotify, that would be terrific as well. And it gets you ballots in the cash giveaway draw too. So there is some incentive to go do it. I'm Pat Mayo. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the Masters. I'll see you next time.
Mayo experience! Experience!